Howdy folks, I'm Brian, and here's some Reddit. Alright, our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for being upset about my lack of Christmas gifts? I'm a 17-year-old male and I wanted a PS5. I repeatedly told my parents that I want a PS5. My mom said that they were having a hard time coming by one and asked what else I would like. I said nothing. If I couldn't get a PS5, then don't bother with anything else. That was the only thing I wanted. I may have been a little insistent about it. Come Christmas morning, there's nothing for me but my favorite candy and a winter coat. I didn't understand and I asked why I only got candy and a coat. My dad said I told them that I didn't want anything else if I couldn't get a PS5. So they didn't give me anything except a coat because I need it, and my mom added the candy. I got upset and asked why they wouldn't have at least tried to get me something I might want. My dad said because I was becoming a spoiled brat. I disagreed, but my dad said I obviously didn't know how to talk to people, that I'm coming across more and more bratty and I'm not owed anything. Lots of people wanted PS5s or Xboxes and lots of them didn't get them. He said he could understand being mildly disappointed in not getting what I wanted, but the bratty, entitled attitude had to stop. I told my dad that he was being a jerk to me, and I was just disappointed that they didn't get me anything good. He said he didn't care if I was disappointed. He was disappointed in me for how materialistic I was being. When my brother, a 20-year-old male, called and wished everyone a Merry Christmas, I told him what happened and he actually laughed at me and said it sounded like Dad was teaching me a lesson and that I must have been acting like a real jerk for him to do that. I don't see how I'm the jerk for being disappointed that I didn't get anything for Christmas. But my dad and brother are in agreement that I'm the jerk. My brother suggested I post here. So the old phrase, play stupid games and win stupid prizes, comes to mind here. You played a stupid game and you won a stupid prize, and that stupid prize was nothing. Yeah, you're right. You are upset because you didn't get any gifts, but you literally told your parents that you didn't want anything except a PS5, and when they asked you if you had alternatives, you told them, no, I just want a PS5. And so they got you exactly what you asked for. Now you're complaining about it, and I think that's kind of ironic, if you ask me. In the future, if someone asks you if there's any alternative gifts that they can get you, offering them polite suggestions might be ideal. Imagine getting exactly what you asked for and then taking your anger out on everyone around you when you got it. Sounds like an apology is in order to your parents, OP. You're the jerk. If you can't get me a PS5, don't give me anything. Doesn't get anything. Shocked Pikachu. I'm angry that my family did exactly what I asked them to. You're the jerk. Alright. Our next letter is titled, Am I the jerk for laughing and pointing out the true meaning of my friend's Asian character tattoo? He is very upset. My friend Jason, who is white and doesn't know any Japanese, just got a new tattoo. He's been looking forward to his first ever ink for a while, and he did a lot of research on the price, the style, and local artists. He kept the design from everyone because he didn't want any negative input before he got it on his body, permanently. I mean, maybe that was a huge misstep, just saying. Fast forward to a few days ago. He went in for a session and told me that I'd love it. I'm Asian and fluent in Japanese. I thought maybe he was going to get a tattoo of a manga character or something. He sent me a picture of his tattoo when he got done and captioned it with a question. Murio, do you know what it means? I honestly thought it was a joke at first and I replied, haha, you got me. That's a good one. He called me right away and asked in a panicked voice what I had meant. He told me the characters meant free, as in free food sample. He started to cry on the phone and said it's already been a hard year and I just made it worse for him. He thought it meant freedom. He hung up the phone and hasn't answered my texts or phone calls since. Well, freedom, GU, isn't even remotely close to what he got. And what's up with these stupid tattoos anyways? Just why? Can someone explain to me? Thank you. So am I the jerk in this situation? So I do want to apologize that I probably brutalized those translations. Those were courtesy of Google. Edit, the tattoo is right above his butt cheek, so the message is really funny. It's kind of a fail, so he'll have to probably do a Pete Davidson and get rid of it. So no, I don't think that you're a jerk here, and I think that if he had consulted you and then you had told him the wrong translation, then yeah, you would be a jerk, but you had no say in what tattoo he got. He was just asking for your input, and then you laughed because you thought it was a joke. It wasn't a joke, and he thought he was getting a different tattoo. So, word of advice to him in the future, if only he had a friend who knew Japanese and could translate Japanese for him and help him come up with a tattoo idea. If only. Too bad he didn't know anyone like that. Not the jerk. It's the #1 rule of getting a language you don't speak tattooed on your body. You get a native who speaks it to check it. It's his own fault for not researching it properly. Yeah. Not the jerk. He asked and you answered. Of course he's upset, but that's not your fault. He can fix it. He can get one right next to it with a Japanese character for dumb, and then it will say freedom, and he will be all set. Oh my goodness, I'll have to tell him this one later. I think that one's clever. I think that one's funny. Not the jerk. Did a lot of research. That he did not. Alright, the next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for being naked with my roommate? I'm a 24-year-old female, and I have a close friend, a 22-year-old female, and I'm also good friends with her brother, an 18-year-old male. He has been desperately wanting to move out, and so was I. We decided to rent a studio apartment. Before agreeing to be roommates, I told him that I won't want to be modest now that I'm getting my own place. So, if we lived together, he would end up seeing me naked a lot, and he said it wouldn't bother him. We wouldn't do any adult stuff to each other because we are roommates and because of my friendship with his sister. Me and him have been living together for 3 months now. We see each other naked multiple times a day. We walk around and lounge around and sleep in different states of undress, and we will both be naked getting ready in our bathroom at the same time often. I will admit a few times we have made adult comments towards each other. I told him I liked his man bits the first time I saw him naked, and he said I have a great butt. But we know not to cross the line further than the occasional comment like that. We are now super comfortable with each other. His sister stayed the night with us. His sister has seen me naked a bunch of times before. In the morning, she saw me walk into the bathroom naked when he was showering. She questioned me about it and said we aren't concerned about nudity as we live together in a small space and it's more comfortable. She got mad at me and said that I'm preying on and grooming her little brother and betraying our friendship. I reminded her that he's 18. So, I'm going to say that no, you're not the jerk here. I'm not really sure why I read it saying that you are. He's 18, he's an adult, and he agreed to this arrangement before moving in. So I could see this being different if he was underage, but he's 18. You aren't doing this to like a 15-year-old boy who's moved in, and you both are consenting adults. I think it might be uncommon for people to walk around naked, but that's your life, and if you two are comfortable with this, then I think that this is well within your rights as consenting adults to walk around naked. It also sounds like you told him about this well beforehand, and he was fine, okay, and all for it. In fact, he got right down to the state of undress with you as well. So, I can't say that you're a jerk here. I can't say that you're grooming him because he's an adult. And he's able to make his own decisions. Now, I do think that you guys that there's either one of two things going on. Either one, he's not interested in women, or in particular, he's not interested in you in a adult way, or pursuing that kind of relationship. And so this works fine for him. Two, he is interested in you and he has no problem getting naked in front of you. And if you two are flirting with each other and being attracted to each other in some kind of way like this, that's fine. So I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if you're attracted to him. I don't know if he's attracted to you. And I don't know if that even matters here. But if either of you, if both of you are straight and are interested in each other in any kind of way, it's really only a matter of time, I think, before you two probably end up in a compromising situation, let's put it that way. So you do have to ask yourself if that is something that you want, and I think that that's probably something that could very well come from this. But do I think you're a jerk? No, I don't think that you're a jerk. I think that this is a perfectly reasonable situation. It may be a bit peculiar, but again, you're both adults. What do you think, dear viewer? Am I off base here? Or do you agree with Reddit? Is this person a jerk? Or is this just fine because they're consenting adults? So again, he's an adult. He can make his own decisions. You're an adult. You can make your own decisions. But don't be surprised if this ends up being something more than just casual roommates. You're the jerk for pretending this arrangement isn't crossing any lines. While legal, I think that a 6-year age gap is creepy when the younger person is only 18. You know where this is headed. You set it up this way. Don't pretend that you didn't. Your friend is right. You did groom him. I don't know. I would disagree about grooming. Again, he's 18. He's able to make his own decisions, and he seemed all for this. It's not like she pressured him into living with her. He could have lived with anyone, but he chose to live with a person who said, hey, I'm going to be naked all the time. Would you like to live with me? And he said yes. It's hard to say that someone was groomed in that kind of respect. Just my opinion. I told him I liked his man bits the first time I saw him naked. No, there's nothing inappropriate going on here with a barely legal brother of your best friend forever. You're the jerk. Look, I mean, if they want to have a relationship, an adult relationship, that's their entitled, that's what they can do. Again, like, what do you think, dear viewer? Do you think I'm being too lenient here? So you guys are sitting around, get naked, and compliment each other on each other's physical appearance, but you're not boning? Edit, yeah, you're the jerk. This is kind of weird, and I missed the detail where he was 18. That makes this kind of predatory. I guess a lot of people are kind of hung up on his age being 18, but again, 24 to 18 isn't that much of a difference. It is 24, right? Yeah, 24. So it's a 6-year difference. So a good guideline for what an age-appropriate relationship, I guess, that is most commonly accepted by people is take someone's age, take your age, divide it by 2, and add 7. And that will give you a rough idea about whether your relationship will be commonly accepted by people. And in this case, 24 divided by 2 plus 7 is 19. So 19 and 18 really isn't that far apart here. And we don't know when his birthday is. Again, I just think he's an adult, and he seemed all ready and raring to go to jump into this. I don't know. Maybe I am wrong. What do you think, dear viewer? All right. Our last letter is titled, Am I a jerk for forcing my husband to hire a maid? My husband is 33, and I am a 31-year-old female. I recently moved into a new apartment. I've always hated housework, but I usually prefer things to be neat and tidy around the place. Before now, he and I would split the chores, with him doing about 65% and me doing about 35%. I had a recent change in my work schedule, and now I work for 7 days on, 115 hours weeks, and then I have the next 7 days off, and then back on to 7 days on. During the week that I'm at work, I have no desire to come home and complete the housework because I'm generally too exhausted. My husband has decided that he no longer wants to do any of the household chores, even during the weeks that I'm working. My solution is to hire a maid that comes by 1 to 2 times a week, every week. That way, I don't have to bother with chores either. However, he doesn't like the idea, and he feels it's my responsibility to do the housework. Mother-in-law agrees with him that it's my job as a wife to take care of the house, and I shouldn't be fobbing it off on a maid. I kind of put my foot down and said that we'll be hiring a maid anyways, and now he's offended and calling it financial abuse. He works full-time and makes around $150,000 a year, And my work is defined as part-time since it's every other week, and I'm making $400,000 a year. He and mother-in-law are making the point that since I work part-time and he works full-time, the housework should fall on me. I think calling it financial abuse is overstating things, but maybe I'm not seeing it from his perspective. Am I the jerk for wanting a maid? So I'm going to say no, you're not the jerk here. And it's a little odd that between the two of you who are making $400,000 and $150,000 a year, that you can't hire a maid? It seems like it would basically take care of all the problems you're having right now in the respect that someone else would do the chores. You wouldn't have to be exhausted and do the chores. The one sentence that bothers me most about this whole situation is my husband has decided that he no longer wants to do any of the household chores, even during the weeks that I'm working. So you're working 115-hour work weeks, and then he's like, oh yeah, no, I know you're working 115 hours this week, hun, but you should clean and do all kinds of stuff. I think that's a bit unfair, especially since that's still, if you average them out, to be, 60-hour weeks just about. So yeah, I'm really struggling to see things from his point of view here. I'm really struggling to see why he would feel like you should do all the chores. I guess, how many hours a week is he working? Is he working like 80-hour weeks? Is he working 100-hour weeks? But it doesn't necessarily sound like that's the case. I think if it were, then you probably would have mentioned it. I think that you two should sit down, have a conversation about this. I think that maybe even counseling might be good to kind of get an outside perspective, to talk about like what the expectations from your relationship are from here on out, how to handle these kinds of problems. I guess from the one point that you make above is that he's for a long time was doing 65% of the chores. And maybe he feels like now that you have a large chunk of time off that you can take care of some of this stuff. Maybe he feels resentful that he had to do all those chores and you never offered to hire a maid then, and now he feels like it's your time to do this. The mother-in-law getting involved here is a little disconcerting because this should be between you two and not you two and his mother-in-law. And her whole idea that it's your job as a wife to take care of the house, that's really dated and clearly has not been the way things have been working in your household for a long time, if ever. I think that, again, like, there's lots of people who hire maids, lots of women who hire maids. What kind of misogynistic nonsense did I just read? Not the jerk. Throw the whole man away. And his mother. What? You make more than twice his salary, and you have the money to hire a housekeeper. Why is this even a question? Why is your mother-in-law even involved with the discussion? Hire a housekeeper and ignore these weirdos. Not the jerk. You literally can't do housework every other week and your husband refuses to do jack. Hiring a maid is just fine. Not the jerk. Your job as a wife? Do they live in the 50s? If you are expected to take care of it, you can by hiring a housekeeper. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, consider giving me a thumbs up. If you didn't, consider giving me a thumbs down. Also, consider telling me why in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.